Oh, so they got
to my left is Nevermore, and to my right is T. Presley J. So a quick backstory to this panel. I noticed like a year ago when I started doing this, like anytime you ever hear someone ask like, who's your favorite Brony musician, like what do you always hear? You always hear like, oh, Living Tombstone,
Black Griffin,
what?
Wooden Toaster,
Silverhound, Mando Pony. I always like that a lot. And like that's great, and those guys were great, but there's so much music coming out like every day, and in my opinion, and several opinions of like people helping to promote it, it's like better now than it ever has been. And a lot of people don't really seem to find the kind of stuff that they like or really seem to look for it. So the point of this panel is we are going to show you guys some different ways that you can find the kind of music that will be your new favorites. And then for the most of it, we're going to have you guys sort of pick what we're going to look up, and then we're going to listen to it together. So the special guest on the cover of my presentation this time is Pegasus. Shout out to him over in Germany. All right, so let's start off. Every month there's like 200 or more songs coming out, generally on average. And that's a lot to keep up with. Like, it's mind-boggling, and I usually try to listen through to all of them, which is great because I haven't heard it. I will check it out when I get home. But it's insane. And then there's also several compilation albums to find them. I want to touch on compilation albums real quick. There's plenty of them. The biggest is Ponies at Dawn. Who here's heard of Ponies at Dawn? Woo! Woo! I don't think I need to spend too much on that, but just in case.
Where can I buy it?
We'll get there. I'm going to throw it over to Nevermore real quick to mention A State of Sugar. They just released an album less than a week ago.
Nice.
Yeah, so A State of Sugar, the whole goal of our albums was there's a gap in the fandom between like the super high end of Ponies at Dawn and Cider Party and like the newer musicians that don't quite have as much experience under their belt. So we kind of came in and we've decided there needs to be an album that showcases the new and upcoming artists. And so our first album we had like 20 songs on it, and then the next album we had 40, and then the last album there were 90 submissions on that album, which is almost as many as Ponies at Dawn gets, which just blew our mind. And so we only managed to put 50 of those tracks on the album, but the whole thing with that is like we also had some of the more popular musicians come onto the album. So there's a nice showcase of people who are new, plus some of the people that you might know.
Now, A State of Sugar is specifically for electronic, right? Or what is...
So generally we accept electronic, but on our first album we did have a nice progressive rock track. So basically what our goal is we just kind of want to showcase all the music that's kind of sweet and melodic, although you will find some heavier stuff on the album as well if you're into that as well.
Very nice. Liking These Beats does an album usually every year. This year they did it for charity at Everfree Northwest. That is available. And also the ones that we've already mentioned are all free. You can donate, like with Liking These Beats, you know, it's for charity, so you're definitely encouraged to donate, but you can just go out and get a lot of these songs. Horse Music Central released a new compilation album a few months ago, and then you've got some of the, I'd say lesser known, but I fear there's a good amount of people here that might know what Pinkamena Party is. That one's like a much crazier, off-the-wall type of submission album. And then you've got Ponies That Yawn, a funny knockoff Ponies At Dawn that just released something recently.
Yeah.
And then you've got kind of more experimental stuff like the experimental Bronies and Noise Horse. All right, so Ponies At Dawn. Let's touch on this because I have two things I want everyone to leave here knowing. And the first one is Ponies At Dawn. This is easily like the best place to go to get like just a big chunk of music that represents like the highest quality stuff coming out of the fandom right now. Ponies At Dawn Rebirth released back in the winter, and it was huge, and there's what, like 65, 70 songs on it?
Right.
Yeah. Really good stuff. Featuring several people in the room right now. And like, it's insane just like how big this thing got. So much so that every time they do a release party, not only are there hundreds of people just like losing their minds in the chat over the stuff that's coming out.
We go nuts.
Yeah, but it like routinely like over that weekend launches up to like the top of the front page of like all the best-selling stuff on Bandcamp. And it's not like niche stuff. It's not like, oh, okay, there was like a couple trance songs on there, so it's like the best trance album. It's the best music on all of Bandcamp. That's how big this thing is. And it's name your own price. So there's no reason in the world any of you guys go home this weekend without having a bunch of new Ponies at Dawn songs. And because it's a compilation album that they do multiple of each year, you can also go back and download their old ones at name your own price. And that's on that's poniesatdawn.bandcamp.com, poniesatdawn.bandcamp.com. Learn it. So I mentioned that I try to keep up with everything that's coming out. And right now, the best account that I've found to do that on is this YouTube account called RDED.
Yes.
And he makes it really nice because he does two separate playlists. He does one that is like everything that even like touches music, which can have like 600 videos a month, but that could be like people in Portugal with like an ant farm that they're singing into instead of a microphone, but all the way to like everything. So I mean, if you want to like discover stuff, you can do that. And then he kind of breaks it down to a little bit more of the higher quality stuff, but still that encompasses quite a bit. I took this screenshot last night for this presentation, and there are 253 songs in his best July music playlist, which is terrifying for me because I have about 2 weeks to listen to them if I want to vote for top 10. And July's not over yet, so it's going to get bigger. But what I say for a good thing there is if you're doing housework or you have the ability to just kind of put it on in the background, one of these playlists is a great way to just sort of kind of catch up if you have the time or that's something that you'd be interested in. Goons Brony is another one I really like to bring up. I noticed he's a little bit behind right now, but he goes back quite a ways and he also makes playlists for the best stuff coming out, or really just kind of all the music coming out. I kind of go back and forth depending on who's a little more on top of it, but Goons Brony is another really good one. So if you want a little bit more kind of, well, I don't know, how do I want to, we all know what Equestria Daily is, right?
What's that?
What's that? Okay. So in January of 2011, this website showed up.
Whoa!
So Equestria Daily does different types of music posts. I think a lot of you are probably kind of acquainted with them, but may not know like exactly how they work. There's sort of different segments based on how the staff of EQD sort of view each song. They've got the best, like the highest quality stuff in their opinion is the single feature stuff, like what is demonstrated right here.
Spotlight.
Yeah, that's the single spotlight, and then they'll also do like 2 to 4 spotlights at a time, and those are still like amazing songs. And then they also do the bonus music, which also has a lot of, it's still very good quality. In fact, they actually raised the threshold last year just to get in there. And so I find a lot of the time, I find a lot of my favorite songs each month show up in the bonus music. And then if you have the time, they attach a treasure chest link to the bonus music. So you can go through there and anything that gets submitted shows up.
Like a big Excel document?
Yeah, yep.
It's a newer feature.
Yeah, it is. Another fun one is, does anyone here know about Ponyville Live? Okay, good. I recently like sort of rediscovered it because usually I'd been promoting this first one that shows up there, Ponyville FM, which is sort of like the main pony radio station. But there's also several other ones that kind of play to different interests that you may have. And I also learned recently that my desk job at like a high-end insurance place doesn't block this website. So I can just pull it up and listen to pony music all day if I can. And that's something I like to do and encourage other people to do. This one's not so much modern as it kind of depends on the station. But it is another good way to sort of rediscover or just discover things that you haven't heard before. I started like making a little list on my phone of like, oh, I didn't know that song. I want to go back and find it later and like buy it because it was so good. This page. And I remember when I started this, I think the subscribers were around like 11,500, maybe like 12,000. And it's fun, like every time I do it, I get to see the subscriber count go higher and higher. Cider Party's been really active lately, which is very good. They help promote people in EDM, basically whether they're new or they've been around for a while. If the quality's there and it feels good for the page, they're happy to help promote musicians. You were just on there recently, weren't you?
It's been a little while at this point. Yeah. So I have 2 songs. I know Tyler has 1, right?
I have 2 unreleased right now. So.
Very nice, very nice.
Well, on Cider Party, I have 1 track on there right now.
Yeah. So that's a really popular, very good place to go to find that type of music. There's also A State of Sugar does its own promotion stuff.
Yeah, we do have a promotional channel. It depends on when the owner of the State of Sugar is able to get things out, but we have done small promotions like EPs and stuff in between our large compilation albums. So if you or a musician you know that's kind of starting out, kind of wants to start branching out and getting their name out, tell them to go look at A State of Sugar. We'd be happy to help promote people.
Yeah, absolutely. Another nice thing too is that on the Cider Party channel, they have like that featured channels kind of on the side you can kind of see. And a lot of those YouTube accounts or just pages are things that we like to talk about and we're going to talk about here. So that's also very good source material for you and a really easy place to find it. All right, so now I'm about to tell you about the website that we like to promote and I believe all work for at this point. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to show you this website. You guys are going to give me genres of music that you like to listen to. And then I'm going to show you how to use it so that we can find our new favorite tracks together. And then while we're listening to the stuff that we pull up, you guys are kind of encouraged to just like talk among yourselves or say something out here that's like, oh, I really like that riff, or that chorus just sounds so nice. You know, just kind of like, this is a really formal thing. We're just kind of all doing this together at this point. But this is Horse Music Herald. This is, and I'm going to pull it up now. So this is a website that keeps up with all the current stuff, and the people that work for it, like we're all on guest staff, we will listen to stuff that gets approved at a certain quality threshold, and then we'll do like a short write-up for the song as a review. And then it's not perfect, but the tagging system in this website, I think, in my opinion, is one of the best in the fandom right now. And if you've worked with it a little bit before, you can usually find a lot of the stuff that you like to listen to. So with that, I'm going to throw it to you guys. Just raise your hand if you have like a style of music you want to listen to. Yeah. I'll pull it up on YouTube. Maybe. All right, this is the part where we really hope the internet works. Okay.
Don't tell me that.
We're still connected.
Don't tell me that showed up on the screen.
It did. It's fine. It's late. It's late.
Golly.
We're all professionals.
Can you hear me now?
Also, at some point, either tonight or very shortly after, I will post on my Twitter a link to the Dropbox where you guys can get the PowerPoint that had all the information in it. And then I'll also post a list of all the songs you listen to at this panel in case there's one you want to go back and find later. And I've got business cards if you need to know how to find me, so you can grab those after the panel.
You have some.
From the skies, it's dust without you wasting away before
This is about to kick.
and I'm about to so
There it is.
remember me.
I gotta just given the text, I didn't expect such like well done vocals. What? I could get in trouble for swearing. Who knows? It's not straight funk, but I can see where they get it. And this is a good way to promote liking these beats. Also available on Bandcamp. Oh, here. He did on three, right?
Let me take you back to the days of hip-hop. Sip a pale kid and a blatant rip-hop. A much better rock is a new song to skip off. A TikTok debacle, a rock and keep talking. On and on, does he have no mercy? It's like the apocalypse arrived early. Percy Jackson said for this skirt be Marauder again. He's just more than cooking. Keep it real smooth, cool, calm and collected. Infected and lenses already corrective. Festive, nearly headless head would remember the plan, but it's just not effective.
But you want to hear more of the album, you gotta go out and get it. You have everything you need now.
Schools are with you.
What have you done to my baby? Idolizing icons like vinyl.
I love it. This is amazing.
I'm leaning, it's vital. Keep it lean, a lean for an eyeball. Cut the gags, max of violence. I keep wondering why you get so intense. Our king is shovels well over the fence. It's like violence against violence. But he keeps on talking, he keeps on walking, keeps rocking snapbacks and hip-hop songs, and keeps on blasting out 3 in the morning.
I'm letting you play for a minute. I'm enjoying this too much. I don't know, do you guys like this?
It's pretty fresh.
He keeps on wondering on and keeps rocking.
Now I see you gotta be like vinyl, wanna be a rock star, don't you? Keep it real and real.
I don't have dance moves, so.
Streets are sick to touch ya. Did you endeavor to be someone of your own invention? Metal gears and twisted ears and other stuff you just don't mention.
I'm about to turn.
Yeah, but, yeah, Prince Whatever did the original version of this last night. It was awesome. This was, so, the story behind this particular video was a bunch of Prince Whatever's friends got together and did their own collaboration cover of one of his songs as a birthday tribute, so, yeah. I forgot about this, but I got really excited. But like, here you can kind of hear, like, it sort of sounds like a soft rock, almost acoustic thing, but it's gonna change up throughout, so it's hard to peg down as just one thing. So alternative really helps encompass that. These guys are my EDM guys. I got the rock stuff.
Yeah. You do more of drum and bass, right? Yeah, more heavy EDM.
We balance each other out. Shout out to Brownie, who played with Crusader last night, the Wonderbolts tonight. He is right there. Oh, he's great.
How could you try and change? You have always been what did I do wrong? I never wanted any of this. I'm sorry if I ever offended any of you, but I am who I am. There's not much more that I can do. I was meant once and the friendship was magic. The way I see it, it's been nothing but tragic. I tried my best and it wasn't quite there. A fairy tale.
I love the title of this song too. I feel like the title tells you. Actually, I'm always mad because I think I'll have like my top 10 ready, and then I see Modern Bar, I'm like, dang it, this is good.
Yeah.
He did this as a series of tracks too, because I remember, I think I did the write-up for like part 4 or something. And I think he was telling a story with it, but it was amazing, like each track. Probably not gonna dance to this one. No. All 3 of those artists are really good too. Yeah, he's sensational. I mean, you'll come across him on the compilation albums for sure. I'm gonna keep it going, but I kind of want to see like, I didn't open the YouTube one because I kind of want to see what right up I just want to like close my eyes and just space out. It's really like a nice thing just to have like a nice like rocking chair or something.
telescope?
Absolutely.
Just night watching of it, or stargazing. Oh,
Good.
that'd be amazing.
Good paths for footage of the telescope space. I mean,
Get on it, NASA.
Yeah, this is what we should be having on the ISS channel. This song,
Or-
exactly.
There was a space museum I went to in Alamogordo, New Mexico, and it was a huge screen. Like I went all the way to the ceiling down to the floor, and it showed.
I didn't do this. Stripes did this. Unless it's good, then I did it. Ambient / drone. This one's really long. I'll probably skip around a little bit just to kind of.
Yeah, it's 8 minutes. Crap.
Yeah. You know, just to get a flavor. Train wreck of thoughts.
Yeah, this is definitely something that I'll face.
Now I'm terrified for different reasons. Just gonna not look at that anymore.
Yeah, they
Close your
have
eyes.
to look at it.
What's that?
Yes. Get on it, Radiar.
I'm gonna skip around a little bit just to kind of.
Yeah.
Presumably it doesn't change up a lot more quickly. So.
Droning.
Do you want to say anything about? Oh, well, he's talking to someone.
I can hear that. I can
We've got it turned up to 11.
imagine that.
I'm afraid like I'll zoom forward and then like the face is there.
There we go. Now we're droning.
Radiar, do you have anything you want to say? Do you have anything to like add to this or anything you want to say about any thoughts? Any thoughts on what you're hearing? Little Silent Hill? Yeah.
Yes, it's good.
If this was in a horror game, I'd be terrified. Just walk down a hall to an amnesia to this. And like, oh my god! Oh. Look at all these brilliant songs. Which one is this one? It's my name, I think. They're all really good. Yeah. What genre is this? Glitch hop. There are times your guess might be as good as ours too. Oh, I love the chops in this one too.
That was a snare.
I'm wondering like where it's at. Not that it really matters. Oh, right before like.
Another one. Oh, shout out to Dream Panic. I know I couldn't make it, but
Yeah,
this stuff's good.
Wondering Panic's amazing.
Oh no!
The buffer monster's here.
What happened to the thing? Come on. Close some of your.
Are you able to plug that thing in your phone and have it do it from there?
That's sort of the last. It says it should be fine. Connected and secure. Close some tabs.
Maybe reload the page.
I just tried.
Oh, you did?
Try again.